Okay, we are now broadcasting. Hello, everybody. Give us a second as I get this thing running. Hello, welcome in. Wonderful to see you all. Say hi to your friends and family for me. I hope they're doing well. AC2.
Also, happy surviving 2022.
Happy surviving 2022. We did it, gang.
Barely.
With difficulty. I am here with Adam, aka LudoHistory, and we're going to be playing through as much of Assassin's Creed 2 as we can in the next 4 hours, because it was the holidays, and I didn't have a video ready for today, so we're streaming instead. It'll be fun.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. We are literally live. Fuck it. Okay, this is great. Fantastic. I have the power of changing the thumbnail of our live stream so that it's the link and thing that I want it to be. Except the internet has to work, and that's really the most difficult part of all of this at the end of the day.
Every time.
Yeah. Because my internet was completely borked yesterday, so the very nice Xfinity guy came out and fixed it, and it was faster than it was before, which is great. So with Ethernet in, as long as it works, I get like 700 megabit down, which is hot. Is the only way I can describe that.
That's even better than that. Jesus.
Okay. Look at that. Amazing. Fantastic. We'll put this in Discord. So for those of you in the audience who are not familiar with our guest, Adam, could you introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Adam. I run the channel LudoHistory over on Twitch. Theoretically, there's plans to do YouTube eventually, but that's not happening at the present moment due to lack of time. I have a master's degree in Viking and Medieval North Studies, and I specialize in the reception of historical material in video games. So I am literally a published academic in that, which is a strange sentence to say. But much more importantly, I've been a friend of Red and Blues for many years now, and so we hang out and get to talk history games and the Italian Renaissance today.
Yes. Let's see. Let me get this up and running. There's all the shitpost that you expect from us, like on stream and on camera, also happens off camera.
Facts.
All the time. Fully all the time. Okay. How is our audio balance? Is it good? If it's not good, no, I do care. I was about to say I don't care, but I actually very much care about our audio balance. I think we're fine.
I think we're fine.
I think we're good. Let's get infinite feedback for a second as I check our audio. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Amazing.
All right, so warm. When last we left our game, like fucking a year ago, sorry guys, we had just finished beating all the carnival games and killing the guy who rigged the carnival games against us, but now we have to go and actually do crime against the people of Venice, because there was an evil doge who we killed, and now there's a new doge who's okay, but we have to still kill the rest of the Templars, and that requires the pinpoint application of violence for ends that we justify without the oversight of any governing body or law considerations whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's really a horrible system, but I mean, hey, fuck it, video games, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So is this before or after the whole, religious doom cult Savonarola?
We are hopefully going to get to the religious doom cult today, and that's what I'm very excited for, because that is my favorite part of this game, is the Bonfire of the Vanities. Some people say it's the weakest DLC, and to that I say, you can have your opinions, and that's fine. Okay, so we got to go to the other side of the Duomo. We're going this way. Okay, so since we've last streamed this game, again, as mentioned a very long time ago, Cyan and I took a little trip to Italy, which was very fun. I didn't really publicize it much because I kept on like almost posting some pictures and then just forgetting, so I never did. I might after this, I might fully forget again, but we got to come to Florence and Venice and also Padua, which is very lovely, so we got to go over there to the Medici chapels and see some cool stuff. So we'll hopefully be back in Florence later on in this playthrough. But Venice is calling, so we have to hop over that away. What LudoHistory just expansion can do?
I'll just talk louder.
I can.
We're on the
that.
same mic because we are actually IRL in the same place for the first time in a bit.
A hot minute.
Exactly, and so the solution to need to turn me up is I will just speak louder.
Just
I can
project.
do that.
Twist and shout. Yes, okay,
Exactly.
so in Venice, we are going to what part of the city? Whoop. Go on. Go. Oh, I can't go in. Okay, well.
Wow.
I'm going to assume we're probably going to Palazzo della Seta, if I recall correctly. Marco Giuseppe, let's go to Rialto Bridge? Yeah. Okay. I know I've told the story a million times, but I'll never get tired of the fact that the first time I came to Venice, I tried to ask our tour guide where Palazzo della Seta was because I really wanted to see it, and they said, that doesn't exist. And I was very embarrassed because I was very adamant that it was real, because why would a video game lie to me?
Why would this video game lie to you?
Why would a Ubisoft game cause me any pain whatsoever?
Exactly.
But of course, the secret is that the Palazzo della Seta, which is the first building that we infiltrate in Venice in this game, is kind of a amalgamation of a few different real-life buildings, one of which is the Ca' d'Oro, a very famous and very ornate piece of Venetian Gothic architecture. But this building here is, this one's just made up.
We love
and
it.
It looks great. But it's just made up. They even make fake dates for it.
God damn it! It is a conveniently round date, huh?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's do real research. Ca' d'Oro. If the actual Ca' d'Oro was finished in 1450, that would be the most hilarious thing. Construction stopped 1430. Okay, so they're clearly taking inspiration, but it's not a 1-to-1. God.
Wild.
Yeah. The tour guide was like, there's like the Guggenheim Museum over in this other direction. I'm like, no, it's the Palazzo della Seta. She's like, that's not real.
Rip.
My guy, you are 12. I've been here my whole life. I think I know more about this than you.
Tragic.
And I've never lived it down since.
Nope.
I'd like to introduce
But it's funny for all like the stories of but you can navigate Florence using the map in Assassin's Creed 2, which is a true thing.
Well, you can do.
You can do.
I've done it.
They just fully make up significant parts of Venice.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that like the parts of this game that are really good trick you into believing the parts of this game that are full bullshit.
The Ubisoft motto right there.
Yeah. So this guy here is Agostino Barbarigo, who was actually the real Doge after the previous guy.
your doge now. Can't you command them to
Not
stand down?
Emilio. God, I don't remember the last target's name. But he is portrayed as like, oh, he's a non-corrupt guy. In actuality, Agostino Barbarigo was a very weak Doge, and he didn't last the longest time. But like, it's fine. He's not a Templar. We'll take it.
Yay, he's not secretly a murderous atheist.
Yeah.
In the 16th or 15th century.
Enlightened murder atheist. The one line that I do want to mention here is that Agostino says that the Council of 41 is yet to confirm his ascension, which is a reference to the fact that the way that Venice elected its doges was a famously and deliberately multi-step convoluted process where, like, you think the Electoral College is a little bit funky, and it really is. It's a horrible system, but the way that they chose doges in Venice was that they had, and I'm going to get the order wrong here, but something approximating, the Grand Council elects a group of 41 peoples to choose a slate of candidates, and then that slate of candidates goes to the Council of 10, who then narrows that down to 3, and then that goes back to the Maggior Concilio, the Great Council, who then adds in like 5 more candidates. Like, it's back and forth, and it's 40 people who vote, and 10 people who vote, and 3 people who vote, and up and down, until like 17 rounds later they eventually find a Doge. And we laugh, because it's ridiculous, but my guys, it worked. Because the thing is, no crazy man can get through that many rounds without someone knocking them out. So what it doesn't do is produce inspired leaders with, you know, incredible visions of what Venice can achieve, but what it does is it encourages consistency, because they pick the most absolutely average person possible to be the Doge, which among the senators and everybody in Venice would be fine.
Yep.
They already pre-selected for good politicians by having, all these merchant people being, in charge of a merchant state. So it's oligarchic. It's not democratic in the slightest, but for Venice's purposes, it worked. And they only had one Doge who tried to do a coup and overthrow the government, and it didn't work. And it was great. And then they never had any troubles again.
Well, no troubles at all sounds like a bit of an overstatement.
Well, because there was the attempted coup of Biomonte Tiepolo, who's the guy who got hit by the mortar because of Signor Rossi. If you've seen the failed assassinations video, you know what I'm talking about. There was that guy. That was a coup from outside the Doge's palace. But the only time a Doge attempted to become king was the one guy, and then it never happened again. And then everything was fine until Napoleon showed up. It was not fine, but everything was a lot more fine than most states in Europe.
That's fair. Right, theoretically, that's actually super similar to how the Holy Roman Empire's elections, especially early on, went.
Yeah.
Right, by this period, we're down to just 7 people will arbitrarily select somebody to go be the Holy Roman Emperor now, and that someone is always a Habsburg. But
we have 2 criteria.
Exactly. In the early period, there's like 130 electors or some nonsense, and they all just like roll up to an island on the Rhine, and will negotiate for about 3 weeks at a time, and may or may not negotiate by means of threatening each other with egregious violence.
Yeah.
In order to find the most thoroughly mediocre person to be the Holy Roman Emperor. Because the idea is, right, if you get someone too strong, well, that's going to mess with the princes doing their prince things, setting up their regional monopolies on everything. And if you select someone too weak, well, when someone tries to do egregious violence against you, there's no one to stop them.
Yeah.
So you want to get someone right in that sweet spot of aggressively mediocre.
Yep.
And it didn't work as well for the Holy Roman Empire. Because often they were either way too weak, or it's Frederick Barbarossa, and kind of spends his entire time in Italy.
Oh, no. Well, no, that was that Barbarossa? Barbarossa was the one who was terrified. Frederick II was...
Frederick II spends his actual entire time in Sicily, just
Sicily,
hunting.
okay, yeah, sorry.
But Frederick I Barbarossa spends the first 2/3 of his reign in northern Italy, fighting against mostly Pisa, attempting to get coronated Holy Roman Emperor, and then spends the last third of his reign drowning on the way to the Holy Land.
Yeah, my Frederick Barbarossa won. I know that he caused trouble for a lot of people. Specifically, Frederick Dose was the guy who all he wanted to do with his life was go falconing in the hills of Sicily.
His textbook is still the textbook for falconing, so you know.
Every once in a while, you do get like one of those books that was written so long ago, but is still like the go-to manual or treatise on a given topic, like all these centuries later. It's like, great. Sure, like, scientifically we've probably gotten some like better books on falconing since like the 1250s, but none of them have the same same je ne sais quoi, that charm of Frederick's falconing book from like the 1250s.
But also, while we know a lot better like why falconers do what they do, in terms of how to make them do what you want them to, if it's good advice, it's good advice.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, if it works, don't change it.
Evolution is a continuous process, but it has not happened that fast with birds since the 1200s. Dogs, however, have been a crazy evolutionary timescale, but birds they've spread. Because a lot of bird species, crossed over the Atlantic and such. Because, there's a kind of... Oh, God, there's the Decaothura. It's a certain kind of bird that was, native to, India, and now is just, absolutely fucking everywhere after the Columbian Exchange. So, a lot of that kind of stuff happened. Yeah. But in terms of, selective breeding to make regular dogs into, corgis, that did not happen with birds.
No. I mean, the other bird example is the European starling being just freaking everywhere in the US these days. Despite not supposing those to be, and not being good for the entirety of the Midwest.
Did I remember correctly that the bald eagle is extinct in the wild?
No,
Is that a thing?
It's not extinct in the
okay,
wild.
cool.
Yeah, it is thoroughly still hanging around, being a dumbass.
Okay.
It is my favorite bird to meme on because it. Have you ever actually heard of bald eagle in the wild?
No.
They don't do that classic screech thing that every documentary ever has them do. That's a red-tailed hawk.
Oh.
They peep.
Have you seen the videos of the little pika animals going pika? It's the tiniest little sound. Okay, so currently we have to go find this guy Bartolomeo del Viano, so that he can help us. Oops. Well,
Go for a swim, apparently.
That was my plan.
We are.
Hey guys, it's me, Altair
assassin.
Stealth. This is my legit, for real, good at the game. Seriously though, like watch Altair Stealth, watch Xenius. Those guys make these games look so good, and I am not them. Come on, let me my sword. I got the wrong button for lock on. It's been a little minute.
That's bad.
You know,
Maybe,
combat in this game is ass.
Maybe combat is bad.
There we go.
Goodbye.
Okay, where on earth am I going? Oh, it was in there. Okay, we'll go around. I watched a video from a YouTube channel called White Light about the parkour of Assassin's Creed, and then I found my way into a bunch of like the niche channels that do like super advanced like stealth techniques with the game to just do the craziest kills, the craziest assassination routes, and I've been very impressed by it, mostly because of how difficult it is to pull that stuff off.
Exactly. I mean, it is that time of year again. AGDQ is next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, the time for people who have spent way too many hours in a video game, I say this as someone who plays video games at least semi-professionally,
Oh, it's over that way. Oh, that's...
the time
that
is
makes
now.
sense. So Bartolomeo's home was off limits, but actual Bartolomeo's over that way. Okay. That makes sense.
Smart. Turns out you don't keep someone in jail in their own house. Actually, you usually did. Like, quite famously, Galileo was kept in jail in his own house.
I need to remember the timeline of Galileo's whole thing better, because he was, like, working in Tuscany, and he was working at the University of Padua, and then he was, like, in house arrest in Rome, and I forget the order of operations. I'll need to do a video on him at some point to just be like, which happened which? Because, like, every place I go, like, oh, Padua's like, oh, like, here's Galileo's, like, speaker's podium at the university. And then, you know, you go to Florence, and it's like, here's the Galileo Museum with, like, all his cool stuff from when he was working for the Grand Duchy. And, like, at what point was he arrested? When did that happen? I skipped a step.
Yep. It's, well, like 1620-ish?
I would have no idea.
It's quite late, right? Because Copernicus only gets banned in 1660. Of 75 years after Copernicus publishes. Because he publishes in 1543, and he doesn't get banned until like 1616, and it's after he gets banned that Galileo decides to be a jackass about it, and then gets himself put in house arrest.
Yeah, you know what's wild is that Copernicus shows up in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, so clearly they cut some corners on the timeline there, because Assassin's Creed Brotherhood takes place in like 1510.
Yeah, I mean, he still's alive in 1510, but he's in Poland. He lives in Poland most of his life.
But didn't you say 1600s or something?
Galileo is 1600s.
Oh,
Copernicus
is 15.
Copernicus dies in 1543.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That does make sense. Okay.
But also, yeah, he, as far as I know, he spent most of his life in a monastery in northern Poland. Which is solidly not the place where Brotherhood takes place.
No. Where on earth am I going?
You know the science character who would make perfect sense in an AC game? Tycho Brahe.
Tycho Brahe. Oh, yes. Yeah, that'd be great.
Tycho Brahe would be hilarious in an AC game. I don't know which side he'd be on, but it would be very funny anyway we slice it.
Was he in Copenhagen the whole time, or did he bop around?
He's in Prague a good chunk of the time. He hangs out with Jan Kepler a lot.
Then who am I thinking of who has the museum in Copenhagen?
Still Brahe.
Oh,
he is
okay.
Danish. Brahe is Danish.
Ah!
It's just he hung out in Prague.
Gotcha.
But, you know, throws the most absolute Giga Ragers all the time. There was some doing real science, but there was mostly just what-if parties.
Absolute crazy parties. It's like, you get the artist who's like, I mean, sure, I can do art sober, but really, like, the ketamine is what makes the creative juices flow. You have, like, yeah, I can do science, but, like, it'd be funnier if I was drunk while doing science. Like, imagine pipetting when drunk, LMAO.
Yup.
Maybe both, just to be safe.
That's quite all right.
Who are you?
I am Ezio Auditore da Firenze. I'm here to
No.
rescue you.
Let's see who winds up rescuing who.
What do you
That.
mean?
Down there! Stop them! Don't overextend yourself now.
I love that.
Is he fighting with a
Bartolomeo
broom?
has a broom, yeah.
We just killed 4 people. We couldn't pick up one of their weapons.
I think he just wants to prove that he can.
That's fair. You know, valid.
Also, thank you for the super chat donation from NC Jethro T, one of our oldest subscribers.
Man.
Thank you, buddy, for sticking around. I actually hilariously after the 10-year, I like went through to check on like have some of our oldest commenters been around, and I looked up your name and I'm like, you're still here. Thanks for sticking with us, bud.
Why no video? Because it was the holidays and production pipelines got messed up by travel.
So here was the strat, gang. Basically what happened was Sign and I moved house at the beginning of December, which has been great. It's still, we have a lot of work to do, but like it's coming along fantastically. We have a whole ass game room. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Can confirm. Top tier.
With one of the tables where like the leaves pop out and there's a recessed play area. Mwah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have friends over tomorrow. It'll be a blast. So that took a lot of time, and I was still able to stick to the schedule. But what happened was, sorry, Bartolomeo. When I had my Rome's first assassination video, that one got uploaded 11 p.m. on Thursday the night before. It's been a long time since it's gotten that close, since it has come to the triary of uploading it at 11 o'clock at night on a Thursday. And it came out great. People liked it, but it was a little down to the wire. And then the following week with the St. Nicholas and Santa Claus video, which is also a fun video that I think a lot of people enjoyed, that one also came down to 11 o'clock on Thursday, so knowing that I was about to go on a Christmas break, oh, sorry, sir. Oh, gosh. You know...
Don't worry, there's no body. He sunk to the bottom of the river.
Bartolomeo, let's run. The Venetian Lagoon is like 7% corpses by biomass volume. Not really, that's the Hudson. But... So, after St. Nicholas came to that late, we, Red and I were like, let's, you know, because also the Journey to the West had just come out, and that was a huge project, and it all turned out great. But we kind of decided, you know, let's take it a little easy for January, because with Christmas breaks and stuff, we're not going to have the time to get a full video out, and we're not going to want to half-ass it, so it's like, you know, let's just take a break. Yeah, so we're gonna have a modified schedule for me and Red the next few weeks. I've got this today. We're going to most likely be streaming some Pokemon over the weekend. Stay tuned for more on that. And then Red's got a Trope Talk next week as usual. I've got a video the week after, more standard line stuff, and then for the end of the month we're going to be doing a another Breath of the Wild stream for Red's last video slot of the month, and then we're back to a standard schedule for February. So the way it is that YouTube advertisement money really dries up in January because, you know, think about it, before the holidays every company wants to absolutely blow their advertising budget to make sure people buy stuff before the end of the year, and companies don't like to leave advertising budget on the table, so they will spend every last cent they have, which means that at the end of December, things really go up with the cost of advertising, which is great, which is why a lot of your favorite creators post their biggest videos towards the end of the year to take advantage of that higher CPMs, where the views that you get are making you more money than they normally would. Good strategies. Of course, then everybody pulls back in January after the big holiday buying season's done and they have to go back to being responsible with their money. So YouTube CPMs will drop by, in our case, it's dropped by about a third between December and January, which is completely normal. That's what always happens. So the best time of year for YouTube creators to take breaks is not really the summer. It's not actually the holiday season. It's usually in January when it is the least financially detrimental to do so, and it's also when everybody else is kind of taking a break, so it's more of a normalized thing. So we've in the past tried not to do that because we like to make videos for you guys, but this year we're finally caving and taking care of ourselves and taking 2 weeks off of the schedule. So that is why no video today. I hope that if you wanted your requisite 10 minutes of OSP on Friday, you can hang out with us for longer than 10 minutes today.
True.
So
you asked for 10 minutes, we give you 4 hours free of charge.
Minute for minute, you're still getting what you're after, but it is of a slightly different variety.
Yep. And since people are wishing Happy Epiphany, because, you know, that's what, Sunday. January 8th, I think, is officially Epiphany for at least the Protestant calendar.
Gotcha.
Orthodox calendars do different.
Orthodox calendar is Christmas later. Right now.
Exactly. But hey, that means it's a great time, because, you know, we got the Feast of Fools. We've got, in Germany, there's a bunch of, Krampus-related feasts. I think even in Italy, right, we've got a lot of this, role reversal festivals that are very spooky and very popular in the 15th and early 16th century.
I see Billy's saying something in chat, but I don't know what.
just a hello, instead of roasting us like every other day.
Oh my god. Okay, guys. Okay,
so look. Billy, we're putting you on blast here for putting us on blast.
So what happens is, before we do off-schedule stuff like this, I like to appraise the mod team on our wonderful gang of friends over on Discord, our excellent mod team. I like to keep them in the loop, so when I say, hey guys, no video today, gonna be streaming with Adam an hour earlier, they're like, okay, awesome, fantastic. So what happens is, I say that, and Billy says, unbelievable, not a mention of Season 3 of Rolling with Difficulty, unsubscribed and blocked. This is, of course, in reference to the podcast Rolling with Difficulty, run by our very own Indigo and Austin, as well as Noir and Wally, and Red is part of that as well. They're all part of the gang of the Spelljammer. Excellent show. Definitely worth a watch if you want some good D&D content. Season 3 is coming soon. It's not out yet. To this I say, it'll come out right after Journey to the West Part 69, just be patient.
Nice.
To which Billy says, okay, let me know when Rome re-summarized comes out too, and then I almost started crying. Absolutely devastating. I will never emotionally, psychologically, or financially recover from this.
True.
So that was that.
Oh boy. Look, sometimes we just accept our fate, and the fate is we are just like that as people.
Bro, why are you still going up?
Look, are you gonna fight someone on the ladder? Oh wait, no, we're gonna come back down.
There he is. On him.
How does getting a knife in the rear end just make you kind of loosely fall off the ladder? How does that work? Hold up, video games.
It's like, those toys where they're connected by strings and you push underneath and then it just ragdolls?
Yep.
It's like that, except it was a knife in his ass.
Many thanks for the aid, friend. We'd like to fight with you, if you'll have us.
Seguimi.
Okay. Hello, mercenaries. We got something to do.
No, Belly! Just let me know when you need recent help with ancient Egypt. Summarize.
No, I did it. I did it perfectly, and there are no mistakes in that video.
Uh-huh.
This is why it's important to have a community to absolutely put you on blast.
Facts.
Okay, you guys stay here. I have to go climb a building. So I can jump off of it.
Watch them follow you and turn out to be secretly gods at parkour well.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, yes, the thieves are the best parkours, but like the mercenaries are not too terrible.
They're not
either.
slouches.
Yeah, they can't do quite all the same stuff.
The guards, for running around in like 20 pounds of armor, are shockingly agile.
Yeah. Also, one of the things with armor is that since it's around you and it's not on any like particular part of your body, that would like unbalance you. It's actually easier to do a lot of stuff in armor than you think compared to like a modern, military backpack where it's all in one place and it's a lot trickier to maneuver. I mean, armor's not easy, but it's easier than it seems.
I'm mostly worried about the long jump distance.
Yeah.
That long jump distance I don't think cares that much, and they're absolute champions about it.
Where do I want to go?
Straight into the river.
Aqua!
Whee!
One time I accidentally dove straight into a gondola because the game was like, yes, you're going to land in the water, but it was such a high jump that by the time I actually made it to the water, there was a gondola in the way.
Did you smush it?
Fully desynchronized.
That reminds me of playing AC1 when sometimes Altair will just miss.
Oh yeah, and then since he's water soluble, he's just dead.
Exactly. Or even if he's jumping into a hay bale, sometimes his little finger will clip the edge of the hay bale and then he'll just perish. Just delete it.
Because as long as you enter hay first, it's fine, but if any part of you gets caught, yeah.
There was one time where I played where the hay was secretly made of concrete, and so I hit the top of the hay and crumpled. And I was like, game?
If the Templars really want to take care of the Assassins, what they need to do is just cut a deal with, like, the Hay Guild, and then replace a few of the bales with
exactly
just straight concrete.
Exactly. You just bully the peasants into giving you more of their hay, and then you have a deal with the Stonecutters Guild, and then the Stonecutters are just... You're just gonna hide the stone underneath the hay, and they'll just perish. A thin veneer of cushy hay to stop a 75-foot fall.
I once watched a GDC talk about the design of Assassin's Creed 2 and how this game was actually made in a lot shorter of a turnaround than most people think it was. It was, I think, just under 2 years of full development time. Which
that is fast.
Yeah, because it was the same team that turned around after AC1. So they didn't have a ton of I mean, they had some, but they didn't have a ton of overlap. Can I...
But there's, like, 1.5 unique animations outside of cutscene work in this entire game. Right. Most of the work here is, I think, environment construction.
Yeah. So a lot of it was trying to make cities that are parkourable and make sense in how to construct the like up and down and parkour mid balance of the game so that it is actually like compelling to traverse. And they did a great job. It ultimately is. But one of the things that they like, even in playtests, is like no one is doing the combat right. Everyone is laying back and just waiting to counter kill.
Also known as the correct way to play this.
Which is the correct way to play for like not dying. So what they did was they tried to, or at least my interpretation of what happened is that they tried to make it so that counters weren't a one-hit KO, but it's still such a dominant strategy that what happens is you do a counter except it doesn't actually kill them. So you get into a loop of countering each other except no one ever dies. So it doesn't remove it from being a dominant strategy, it just slows it down because there's still not much else to do except, cheat like that, which like is fine.
Yeah.
But it's feels a little gamey. So the developer said, like, the players who understand what you can do with the combat system enjoy it more. And that's true. The more you learn about, like, how to dodge offset and stuff, like, not offset, just how to dodge and do stuff like that, like, it becomes a more interesting combat system. But the game literally never teaches you how to fight beyond counter kill.
You get in one fist fight when you're 15, and they assume that's the same as, you know, studying under Del Fiore or one of the
Study
actual...
the blade, yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like they have a little tutorial thing in the villa, but they never tell you about it.
Nope.
So it's like, sure, you can learn how to do like a sweep the leg move with the spear, but you have to know to go to the tutorial to do it. You can't just do it. You have to do the tutorial first before you can use the technique.
Yeah,
just like, ah!
That's bad. Come on, like that's been a good lesson since literally freaking Super Metroid. To just go, hey, let players do everything, and then just don't teach them that they can do it. But once they know, right, they can do it if they know what they're doing. And when they figure it out, they'll feel super cool and use it in every subsequent playthrough. Instead of, why can't I do all the fun stuff? What do you mean Samus can't wall jump from the beginning of the game? That hurt your people more than it hurt that guy, it looked like.
That was a 75% friendly fire attack. Wow. Alright, good work, team. Yeah, the unfortunately the Venice portion of the game is when Ezio becomes brain dead.
Sadly, he will not get his brain back for another 2.5 video games.
Yeah, no, it takes him until Constantinople. He gets way deep into a bowl of like some kind of like Hagia Sophia incense, and then comes to his senses after 40 years of being a moron since he stepped foot in Venice.
Exactly.
There! He's bolted!
Well,
God, this game is so stupid.
This one is cut!
So you can do stuff like that most of the time. Like, you can't do a counter against the big guys. You can only do the ones who are unarmored.
yep.
And it's not a great system.
Not ideal, no.
Oh well. And Brotherhood, they're just like, fuck it, you can kill anyone in one hit, it's fine. And it's a lot more fun! There's no depth to the combat, but it's fun.
It is. Haha.
Alright.
They'll never figure out where
Is
I
he
am.
hiding with the group of people who are our sworn enemies?
Does Venice really have roof guards? No.
Mm-mm.
Like, what? Right, the concept of a professional guard is, like, only just coming into existence. Right, you can think of as a really famous example from slightly later, and also the other side of Europe, right, Rembrandt's The Night Watch, as sort of indicative for early modernity in Europe generally, where you get basically a bunch of rich, younger-ish sons of either new money merchant guilds or old money aristocrats showing off their status by buying all the gear and going on patrol. And that's one of the main things for, like, guard forces. You can hire out mercenaries, but so, I don't know, right, the Vatican is already hiring Swiss mercenaries, as is... Actually, basically everyone's hiring Swiss mercenaries at this point. It's kind of the go-to. Either Swiss mercenaries or Polish mercenaries.
Swiss chocolate, Swiss mercenaries.
Exactly. But that's kind of the closest you get. Really, for the most part, it is an extremely ad hoc thing. And so the idea of like these large bodies of professional guards patrolling the area to quote unquote keep the peace, just not a thing in the 15th century.
Yeah. There was a couple different overlapping stories. One is that there was a notorious problem in Italy in the like 15 and I think also maybe the 1600s of gangs of youths getting into street fights. They'd put on giant coats and throw rocks at each other. Documented problem in Rome and Venice and some other places too. It's like, you know, straight up Act 1, Scene 1, Romeo and Juliet kind of stuff. There is historical precedent. Shakespeare would have known. I think this stuff might have been happening in England sometimes as well. Or at least he would have heard about it when he came to Italy. I can't say that for certain. But one of the problems with, like, having a medieval state is that most of them didn't even have real armies. So they also didn't really have much of a culture of, like, having state-controlled military power. You would have rich condottieri who lived in the city who would, like, use their mercenaries in the city, and then they just basically become de facto the owners of the city. That's kind of what happened with the Sforza family in Milan and elsewhere. And I'm generalizing here. I'm not speaking with complete accuracy, just because there's a lot of different examples. But like, Machiavelli spent years and years and years of his life when he was working in the Florentine Republic to try and be like, guys, we need to get a militia. We cannot keep relying on mercenaries. It's not working. It's costing us money. They don't even do their jobs that well. Can we please just let our own citizens do this? And then the Republic is like, no, that sounds too hard. Machiavelli's like, ah! So, yeah, like, state guards, really not a thing. It was a mercenary business.
Exactly. And I mean, the context of the Italian city-state wars of this period, that what that actually means is the mercenaries are going to go to one people and say, how much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
And then they'll go to the other people and say, so they paid me this much, will you pay me this plus 1 cent to not do that?
Yeah.
And there will be like 6 or 7 bands of mercenaries that wander around doing that. And every once in a while, just for the show of it, they'll get into a fight with each other.
Just to prove that they theoretically could fight if paid enough money.
Exactly. These are not the Landsknechts of the Holy Roman Empire. They fully do not enjoy the prospect of fighting and will happily just take money instead.
Yeah. God. Oh no, my army fought. How unforeseen.
Exactly.
Landsknecht were insane.
They're so fun. Immediately, a lot of them are also just rich kids showing off status through ungodly fancy outfits.
Yeah.
But the
Milan Fashion Week? No. Landsknecht Fashion Week.
Facts. Chat, if you've never seen how stupid fancy 15th century Landsknecht is, just Google it right now.
Hold on, I'm gonna put it in chat.
Because, oh boy.
Oh no, that does not allow me to do that. I've gotten into chess memes lately. It's absolute brain rot.
Oh dear.
Okay. Alright, follow. Yep, thank you. I just needed to get that viewpoint. Ezio periodically needs to get high.
Exactly.
That's a problem. He can stop anytime he wants, he just doesn't want to. We're talking about mercenaries? Yeah, no, guards aren't a thing. That's fake.
Long and short of it, guards aren't a thing, and the corollary to that is that's part of why there's such a strong dueling culture emerging in this. Because if there isn't a state-controlled monopoly on violence in the guards, well, you better make sure you're able to do the violence yourself.
Yeah.
And so these train these masters for dueling academies who leave their promotional materials that we're broadly working with. Like Fiora's fencing manual is probably just a promotion for his basically workshop. Right? Come take my 3-week course to become a master of duels.
Hey hustlers, I'm Fioretti, and if you come to my class, you can learn the 5 secrets to get a Lamborghini in your garage. kind of,
And
you
by
know.
getting a Lamborghini in your garage, I mean be able to fight a duel to the death and not be the one who's dead.
Yeah. A duel to the death, but theirs.
Exactly.
That should feel better. I don't like
Yeah, supposedly he fought all of 5 duels unarmored in his lifetime, won all of them, but this man was a professional duelist, and he was like, wear armor. Rule 1, swords are pointy, wear things that prevent the point from going inside of your body. Hot tips coming out of the 16th century, getting stabbed hurts.
Yes, my friends, you all have big-dicked egos, but swords are bigger and they can kill you, so wear armor.
Exactly. That would be a thing I really wish this game had, right? Instead of it's just your uncle, suspiciously named Mario, teaching you how to do sword fighting. If we actually had, like, a hired dueling master among the assassins, like, that would be, like, even if it's Agrippa, that would be pretty sick.
They kind of, like, put Bartolomeo into that position because he is the one of the most famous condottieri in Venetian history, who famously on one occasion, I want to say during the War of the League of Cambrai, basically, like, him and his condottieri single-handedly won a battle that stopped, like, France and the Pope and the Holy Roman Empire from just destroying Venetian terra firma forever. It's been a while, I'm probably misremembering it a little bit, but Bartolomeo del Viani, war hero of the Venetian Republic, on at least that one occasion, but also I think there was another one that he came in pretty clutch, but not to quite the same degree. He's actually quite famous in the real history.
Yep. But of course, in classic Assassin's Creed form, you must be at least this famous to make it into our video game.
Yeah. There we go.
Throwing knives. Good. Who could have predicted?
Ezio is a whole ass knife block.
Look, Maddie, we just traumatized the bard. We didn't actually murder him.
Yeah.
He deserves it, but we didn't actually murder him.
Which actually I didn't realize you could do, because if you kill those guys, you get almost like instant full notoriety. But apparently, if you just throw one knife at them, they won't die. Good to know. I didn't know that. Alright, I want to breeze through this section of the game as fast as possible, because, like, kind of nothing happens.
There's a lot of fetch quests happening right here.
Yeah, the whole Venice portion of the game is Ezio doing a bunch of, like, very weird setups for problems that don't actually exist.
Yep.
Like, all the thing with the flying... Like, the flying machine is great. Like, that's the set piece that sold the game. I get it. But, like, they wrote themselves into a corner that they had to write themselves out of when they didn't super need to, and now it's like, oh, we have to go kill this other guy, so we need to do the carnival, but we didn't actually need to do the carnival because they steal your ticket anyway, so you have to steal your ticket to get in, which is what, like, Ezio said to do at the first place, and then everyone's like, no, you can't do that, there's no way, it's impossible. And then Ezio's like, I guess there's no other way, damn. And then eventually it's like, oh no, Ezio, they stole your ticket, you have to steal it back. Ezio's like, I can do this. So it's very stupid. And then, with this one, you have to do this whole thing to draw out these two guys who are hiding. And it's once again, like, why? Why is this necessary? This is so convoluted.
Yeah.
But it's fine, it's fun. We get to do sword crime with Bartolomeo del Viani.
Theoretically. He's mostly just... The only swords I've seen is a broom right now, and then his oversized friend.
Yeah, Bianca, hiding under the table.
Point you can in the district.
Which they do have a callback to in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where he's asking for his wife, Penthesilea, and Ezio's like, did you check under the table? Bartolomeo's like, haha, fuck you. That's my wife, you son of a bitch. Then Pentasileia's like, yeah, it's okay, his first choice was the sword. It is very funny that between the two of them, there are many brain cells, and Pentasileia is not sharing them with Bartolomeo. She is quite solidly the brains of the operation.
What can you do?
I mean, eventually the CTE is just going to come for you, and you have to rely on someone else to do the strategies. That looked like it hurt.
That looked like that was your face against an unvarnished wooden duck.
Oh, my health is full.
How
Never
did that
mind.
happen?
I'm cured. You ever see those posts online? Thanks, I'm cured.
Yep.
Where it's like, you know, have you ever tried not being sad? Like, oh wow, like I'm sorry that you have like a long-term like musculoskeletal injury caused by, you know, like years of whatever. Have you tried like
Just not having
yoga?
that? Have you tried just not having that?
Yeah. How's the power of prayer been working out for you? Not to smack talk the power of prayer, but like science also exists. I'm sorry, this is getting into
You just like threw ourselves under the bus here. Oh, brilliant. How did
Fireworks.
we now?
Yes, keep going. I see where you're going with this. Keep going.
I'm not an expert on, you know, fire safety, but I'm pretty sure I've heard, and from experience now, you shouldn't hold on to a firework when you light it off.
Yeah.
And yet there's fully, like, we didn't have to stand on top of the cross, where there's nowhere to set down the firework.
Yeah. So Ezio fully blew up his hand.
Yeah. Long story short, we now look like Merry and Pippin from the start of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Where we are just comically black.
Except, unfortunately, it is not dank Scythian hash, which is really a tragedy.
Darn.
Salute, Ezio! Care for some company? By all means!
I know the joke is a little overplayed, but Stoner Herodotus is still like my favorite thing to come out of reading Herodotus.
That's probably the best thing you can get out of reading Herodotus.
Certainly not history. I'm kidding. Herodotus is great.
Herodotus is great. I do thoroughly like the, you know, the giant gold-stealing ants that live in Persia. Top tier Herodotus content.
This is a funny story. Cyan got me a beautiful 6-volume Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Gibbon, like the version with the columns on the sides, as a Christmas present, where the columns like degrade as they go. Absolutely beautiful. Shining star of my book collection now. I've gone on record saying that Gibbon can be a real douchebag sometimes, and that's still true. I'm still like enthralled with this book, and the funny thing is that Cyan was saying, like, choosing books for you, Blue, can be a little bit tough because sometimes the way that you talk about authors leaves me unclear on whether or not you like them, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I have called Herodotus a lying piece of shit on multiple occasions, yet he's still one of my favorites. I understand the confusion. So when I say, like, Gibbon is a sexist, myopic bastard who blames everything on Christianity, that's true. He's also still one of the most fun books on Roman history you can read. So it's, like, still... That's the joy of the classics, is it's both. It's great and it's terrible, and you get to read and enjoy the parts that are good, and then viciously dunk on the parts of Gibbon that are stupid, and that's why it's so perfect.
There are 6 volumes. There's a lot of shit takes.
There's a lot to dunk. There's a lot to dunk. But then also, like, example being, like, I've called Herodotus a lying piece of shit on so many occasions, despite the fact that I love Herodotus.
Well, he does his best, and his best is just sometimes not very good.
You'll not get past.
You won't get far.
Well, that's Dante Moro dead.
Alright.
Hey, I kinda goofed a little there.
I thought part of the point was that they're supposed to lead us to their master and not just stab.
Yeah, that would be the point. But this game's plot
Did it-
kind of loses it a little bit.
Isn't the thing Bartolomeo said that they are going to lead us directly to their master, and we should absolutely follow them to figure out who the heck they're working for?
Yes.
And Ezio heard, stab them with extreme prejudice immediately.
They want.
Non temete l'oscurità.
And Robin Wing, shouts to Princess Bride. Every fencing master they mention in that duel between Inigo Montoya and Wesley in The Princess Bride is an actual early modern dueling master.
That is cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, every single one is real. And they actually, like, vary up the styles slightly, I've heard. I'm not good enough at fencing to actually fully know the difference.
I haven't read any of the treatises. I should.
I've got a copy of Agrippa, I think. I don't know if it's here or at my parents' house.
Okay, dangerous idea. Fencing treatises. Oh no. Because they're all in Italian. Because, like, oh god, well, I want to make sure I get this right. All of the French sword fighting masters would basically disappear for 2 years and say they went on, like, you know, like a journey of self-discovery as they went into the hills of, like, you know, the Rhone Valley or whatever, or, like, I don't know my French geography very well. They went out into the French countryside and prayed about it at a monastery and learned fencing. When actually what happened is that all of the French, or at least a sizable majority of the French fencing masters, went to Italy, studied under Italian fencing masters, and came back like, look at, or no, that's Italian. Oh, look at my new technique. I came up with this entirely on my own. And it's just like, wait a minute. I've seen this treatise in Italian. And it's in your backpack, you lying piece of shit. So, like, all of the French fencing masters who were like, yes, this is my French treatise on how to fence. It's all Italian technique, and they just wouldn't admit it.
We love to see it.
Because there wasn't as strong of a culture of at least to my recollection, I don't want to start talking completely out of my ass here, because once we get outside of Italy, I lose the thread a little bit. But there wasn't as strong of a mercenary culture in France because the king had a stronger army, whereas in Italy, the only way anyone could defend themselves was with mercenaries. So there was a lot more of, like, kind of like what you're saying, with, like, these people who would use their treatises as, like, soft advertisement for hire me. And there wasn't as much of that going on, the same motivating factors in France. I think I am open to being corrected. That might not be entirely true.
I think that checks out, because if I remember right, in, like, the 15th century, there's a really weak dueling culture. 16th century, dueling culture explodes. 17th century, they try and regulate the shit out of it. 18th century, that fails.
Leonardo, when did you get back?
Just now. I need to talk to you right away.
God. Our boy Leo da Vinci, also known as the reason AC2 works.
Yeah.
Right, because just the other day, one of my friends was trying to compare AC2 and AC Valhalla.
Oh, no.
I was like...
Want some more tea?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, oh yeah, AC...
Duh.
AC2 is just way better than AC Valhalla, and it's like, well, why did they do so much work here and then they didn't for Valhalla? And I was like, well, yes, but on the one hand, AC2 is a better game than AC Valhalla. It needs to be said.
We've known each other a long time.
But
If I can't trust you,
in terms of being like a more accurate portrayal of Renaissance culture than Valhalla is in Viking Age culture, it still isn't
leading to an ancient
good.
Yeah. I mean,
I think,
like, on one level, these outfits are not 1400s at all. All this slashing on Da Vinci's getup, like, that's 1500s and onwards.
Yeah.
Just the base aesthetics are pulling from a little bit later than the history of this game is actually set. Just, like, on the most fundamental visual level. But continue.
But yeah, but I was thinking about it, and I was also like, You know,
Second piece.
Leonardo da Vinci kind of single-handedly excuses 80% of the hot nonsense that this game does.
Yes.
Like, because you can do any bullshit set piece you want with completely impossible physics, and you're just like, well, Leonardo da Vinci made a sketch of it.
Yeah.
We're being historically accurate. Leonardo da Vinci made a sketch of a flying machine. Yeah, it couldn't have worked. It fundamentally is just not a big enough wing to possibly support human weight. But he made a sketch of it, therefore it's historical, right?
Yeah, and just the sheer, because one of the comments said Assassin's Creed 2 is 90% vibes and 10% plot. That's exactly correct. It's solid vibes, and the vibe of Da Vinci builds your shit is the game. That's what makes the game work, is you have Leonardo da Vinci tinkering away in his workshop for your stuff.
Exactly. And you can do any stuff in the world because it was fucking Da Vinci.
It was Da Vinci. He is the absolute historical carte blanche to have whatever you want. And if there's any problem that needs solving, Da Vinci. If there's a puzzle, Da Vinci. If there's a thing to build, Da Vinci. And they run with that in the next game where you get to do all the war machines, which is probably the best part of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Facts.
Right.
So yeah, it's that, and then having these like super richly rendered, mostly Florence, but we'll pretend a little bit about like Venice and Milan.
Yeah, Venice is
We'll
pretty
pretend.
good.
We'll pretend.
Not Forley.
Exactly.
Not Forley.
Exactly. Forley's not great, but also, if you go up onto the city walls in Florence here and look out, oh boy, is it grim.
Yeah.
Like, the empty, decrepit, nonsensical fields of shore-cropped grass are strong in this video game.
Yeah, like in Tuscany, it's like that's not. I mean, it's like it puts vineyards into right outside a city when most of that would be more like hardcore farming. I'm losing the thread a little bit.
But
but yeah, it's there are choices they make that upon inspection don't make quite the most sense in terms of creating a believable landscape.
Exactly. Right.
It's still vibes.
It's such a smart scope of that we need to do richly rendered urban environments.
Yeah.
And if the countryside looks like ass, that's
kind
honestly
of fine. Yeah.
You don't spend any time in, well, okay, you spend the mandatory ride into town the first time in the countryside, and that is it.
Gotta capture the cargo from the ship. Oh, this mission is long and boring.
Hooray!
Real quick,
Our
while we're in
favorite.
the Arsenale, oops, just gonna do gun crime here. Boop.
No one heard that.
Yeah, no. People have actually tested that. Like, people do not hear the gun in this game, even though they do like the dog howling and everything to make it seem so loud.
Yeah.
Arsenale, at its peak, at a little bit around this time, a little later, it could build one warship a day. They famously had a demonstration for the King of France, who was wildly impressed. I was dallying. I let the guy get away.
Oops. Well, good thing this isn't a very large city.
Yeah. Good thing the city's like a mile across in each direction.
Exactly. Hang on, we need to pick up flowers. Or flowers. Feathers. Words are hard.
I'm going to demonstrate how much this gun doesn't actually do anything. He did not hear that. He's going to see the body, but he didn't hear the gunshot.
Don't worry about this. He'll just wander vaguely concerned about.
You're like, wow, glad that wasn't me.
Someone landed on their face off of a rooftop. Walk 4 feet slowly, kneel down and go, huh, yup.
Neither wind nor rain nor cold of night nor literally one of their coworkers dropping dead in front of them will stay this courier from his appointed rounds. We're having fun. Because, like, there's the galaxy brain meme of, like, I'm just going to keep shooting these guys because this is honestly too fun. Of, like, Assassin's Creed is a bad game, and then, you know, one level up, Assassin's Creed is a good game. Assassin's Creed is a great game. Assassin's Creed's a masterpiece. And then the most galaxy brain take of all is when you go back to Assassin's Creed is a bad game, but then you become enlightened because you see why it's so fun because of how dumb it is. You basically, once you see how stupid this game is, you unlock the funny mode. And then that's a whole additional layer of enjoyments to unpack.
Okay, this guy, this professional courier carrying incredibly valuable cargo was like, let's just parkour straight over the center of the canal on this teeny tiny, non-flat surfaced pillar that's just in the middle of the river.
Better hope I don't trip.
Exactly. That feels unnecessary. Bye.
Oh, one more. Alright.
Don't worry, we've got a blue chevron. We can't possibly lose sight of our target. Come on, video games. It's like you don't know your own UI exists.
But I had the chevron! This is unfair!
I knew exactly where he was.
Pre-modern silencer. Yes, Cyan, you're exactly correct.
You belong down below with the rab. You belong down below with the rab.
Space Monkey on the AC Valhalla train. I don't know if the Norse employed anyone in the way of espionage or assassination IRL. There is one saga where someone creates a robot out of a tree in order to teleport into Iceland and do murder. I don't know if that counts, but it is a thing in a saga.
That's like one step above like sewer tunnel networks of like there are trees everywhere, but the roots touch. So if I go inside one tree, I can pop back out at any other tree.
But this is Iceland in the 10th century, so it's the one place on Earth with none trees. And so, no, it's just he melts into the earth, and then he reappears in Iceland, and then he gives someone a heart attack by virtue of being a tree robot, and then he melts back into the earth and leaves.
Circle of life.
Yeah?
Okay.
It would make for a better game than AC Valhalla.
Yeah.
Just be a tree man.
Did you have any disappointment beyond what you were expecting from the final chapter DLC?
God, what part of that was not a disappointment?
Yeah, okay. Fair.
You know, the fact that there was no gameplay in the final gameplay DLC was an interesting experience.
Is it all just like walk to place, talk to person?
It is walk to place, talk to person, find sing point, watch cutscene.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the plot twist at the end is Odin's like, have you ever heard of solar flares? Like, of course I fucking haven't heard of solar flares. It's 870 AD.
Exactly.
Which also, like, bold move to try and make, like, the plot twist of Assassin's Creed 3 into a dramatic storyline. Like 10 years after the game came out.
Look at this man, he's in full. He's wearing significant amounts of armor and he's just running around on these random ass wooden platforms.
With the entire city at my ass.
I mean, not you, that's expected. The courier. I was watching the chevron for the courier as he had sick hops. And it's like, hold up a minute.
Did you see me just juke that guy? Damn it!
Where
the chevron! He was underneath me!
Directly underneath me.
I had the chevron! What we're determining with this playthrough is that I am actually quite bad at this game. Fuck.
Really? All the way back here? God damn it. Ow.
Hey, boys. Oh, you know why? That's why I couldn't. I'm just gonna desync. That's fine. That's why I couldn't. I was already at full health because my armor broke when I bashed my face into the side of that pier.
Gotcha.
That was the problem.
I don't think you. I think you accidentally got closer to him.
Yeah. Fully the wrong way. Oh, because he went over the water. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Got it.
Rip.
Again, once you become enlightened and can appreciate that this game is like a complete funny mode, F? No Fs. That was calculated. I'm bringing you additional content. Don't you want to see this same tailing sequence 5 times?
This is just RNG manipulation for the next sequence.
Yeah, yeah.
God, isn't he carrying, like, plot MacGuffins?
Yeah, he's carrying the apple of Eden.
Exactly. And he's just like, let me just have sick hops over this river, because I'm not carrying something worth literally $1 billion.
Yeah, because where does this game actually end us? Because it starts here. We go here, and I think we end, like, over there. Okay.
Wild.
Yeah.
Either the urban planning department for the Republic of Florence needs to not. Like, they all need to be fired and we need to just try again. Or this courier is actually very bad at his job.
The board does only hire the best. Because we are going towards where we're supposed to be going, just not
Fast?
directly. Yeah, and then he starts running.
Exactly, he's just like, 3, 2, 1, sprint. Oh boy.
We're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die.
It's so close.
I'm with you.
It is not.
It is not.
I will fail.
Oh no, he stopped to catch his breath. He still is inside.
There we go.
Really? Really, game?
There we go.
There he is, Pazzo. You think you can outrun us?
In you go. And then he starts to parkour up. No, he's just he's parkouring up. Okay.
Yeah. Wearing a stupid heavy helmet, just like we're just as cool as you, Mr. Assassin person.
Alright, I'm out of knives, so we're in gun mode.
Hooray! Luckily he has the ears of wow, that was something with very bad hearing.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. The point is, he's right. Instead of the eyes of a hawk and the ears of a bat, he's got the ears of a hawk and the eyes of a bat. God damn it! Is he directly below us again? If it desyncs from us being
Damn it!
directly below us with complete coverage.
Okay, so lesson learned. I have to get a line of sight on him. It's not just being close.
Boo. Well,
God, and speedrunners play hard games professionally. God.
17th time's the charm.
If it's good enough for Congressman McCarthy, it's good enough for me, boys.
Alright, try suggesting ears of an armadillo.
Ears of an armadillo.
Apparently they can't hear.
Ah, there we go. he starts running.
For no discernible reason. Like, theoretically, he doesn't know that we are tailing him.
No. Well, if this is the continuity where he saw that one guy drop dead in front of him, then maybe he's gotten a little spooked.
But you think he'd start running then instead of standing still for like 5 minutes before being like, I should maybe move.
Gotta knock them off their rhythm.
Exactly.
Because there's the parts where he goes fast, and then he just, like, will randomly stop again.
Yeah, directly underneath us. And the game will be like, you know, what if you lose sight of him, despite knowing he went underneath this alcove, and there being no way out where he will not see you?
That's right, he goes in there and comes out here. This man is terrible at his job.
My guy.
I'm worse at mine, so, like, fair play, but...
That is the most video games.
Oh, that one died.
He died in one. Alright. Glad you can easily tell.
Still got verticality on him.
And then, okay, he's still going.
Oh, Cyan says, hey Blue, you will definitely be able to get today's redactyl. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
So for those of you who are not, oh my god, it was literally right before the, God!
At the last moment. No.
So redactyl is one of the many Wordle spin-offs, but basically what it is it is a Wikipedia article, but everything but like the prepositions have been redacted. So you need to just guess words and try to find out what it is. It's insanely hard because a lot of it is like crazy biology terminology is what it's been a lot recently. Okay, cool.
I fully cheat on a lot of them because there was one recently that was eutrophication, I think was the name of was the title of the article.
God.
Which is, if you don't know, it turns out it's the process by which nutrients seep into bodies of water, causing harmful algae blooms. Neat phenomenon. I haven't thought about that since I was 16 in high school environmental science. So, you know.
Great.
But what's the lowest you've gotten a redactyl in?
The lowest, Cyan and I last week, Doubt was on it. And we were able to get that in like 100.
Wow.
That one was very lucky. I like offhandedly said, because we got to like philosophy.
Yeah.
And because it was like, blank is a mental state. And eventually I was like, doubt? And like thinking it would be like a subheader, and Cyan's like, oh, nope, that's it. Cyan is much better at redactyl than I am. I give up so easily.
I think I got super lucky on one, and I think it was Settlement of the Americas, and I got in like 19.
Wow.
Because I just do geography first.
Oh, yeah.
And once I get Americas, there's not a lot of other options.
Oh, Cyan got today's in 72. Nice.
Wow.
Okay. We're gaming tonight, boys. But, the funniest one was Red, one of the early ones that we'd done after our friends got us into it. Because they had sent us, like, hey, Blue, what do you know about universities in Rome? And it was, like, blank University of Rome. And I'm like, isn't that Sapienza? And it was like, haha. So I didn't want to spoil it. And I'm like, it shares the name of a Hitman level. And that was like, it's Italian for wisdom. Didn't help. They were able to find it eventually on their own. But after that one, I'm like, oh, this is like history stuff. It'll be great. And then it was like 2 straight weeks of biology. And I was useless. But the funniest one was Red was able to twig on to the fact that one of these was about math fairly early, but completely, her own words, missed the forest for the trees and was guessing all these extremely complex math concepts when ultimately the term was quadratic equation, and she was like, you should have seen how furious I was when I finally saw it. And like, credit to her, she plays it legit, Cyan plays it legit. I quit so early. I'm like, I don't know any words. I start to cheat super early. I start Googling things, and I'm like, I don't fucking know, man.
Everything went perfectly.
Do we want to kill this guy or let him go for his entire speech? It's kind of funny.
Let him go.
Cyprus was more difficult than expected. There were complications, but we have returned with the artifact and have carefully transported it to you as instructed.
This is some real Charles Dickens trying to meet his word counting Great Expectations kind of stuff.
As I'm sure you have
No, this feels right. This feels one of the few cases where the dialogue feels extremely good.
It's more our two's wheelhouse. Okay. Ezio fully dropped the artifact. It just shattered into 1,000 pieces.
So, where is he? Who? Your prophet. Doesn't look like anybody showed up, Rodrigo.
It's been like an hour. I can get rid of the Lens Connect from my,
You sure?
These box. And look, there's nobody here.
You claim not to be a believer, and yet here you are. Don't you see?
What's our watch time
Prophet is
today?
already here. I.
Real-time views, 4,700!
Yeah.
What?
People be tuning in.
Oh my God.
They need their drip.
This is the most I've ever gotten on a stream. Thanks, gang. This is amazing.
Yep, looks like there's 700 people currently hanging out, but we got 4,000 overall. And we appreciate every single one of you.
That makes more sense. Can I
But
cheat?
hey.
I cannot cheat. I can cheat.
Nice. Wow. You can just... Yeah.
Just absolutely demolish him. Can I poison him? No.
Tragic. You can stab him with a weird knife.
A very exoticized. They call it the Sultan's knife. I don't think that has any basis in Turkish marital culture or martial culture, I should say. I was like,
both.
I fully got the word wrong. Because it was the same letters, it's just a different order.
It's like dyslexia, but in speech.
Yeah.
Oop.
What's that very 2010s meme? I have sex daily. I mean dyslexia. Like jokes. The Rafflemau is strong with this one.
Oh dear.
Actually, give me your spear. No, not you. Nope, that's embarrassing.
This time, your legs shall be the ones that get swept.
Give me your spear.
Yeah. I love that he stands there. He's like, "Wow, you know that's so embarrassing. I'm just gonna let you
There we
get up."
go. There we go.
Uncle! Don't worry, Nipote. You are not alone.
Well, Volpe.
What are you doing here? We could very well ask you the same thing.
Save your questions, brother. Don't let Borgia leave with that box.
Avanti!
Well,
Now, yours.
sweetie. I'll have to steal someone else's spear.
Right behind you.
Ow. That was fast.
A lot faster than last time.
Yes.
This is pathetic. You cannot stop this spectacle.
Ow. We're speedrunning the punching the Pope in the face here, aren't we? Well, this time it's more curb stomping the Pope in the face. Kick. Kick.
No, this is more embarrassing for him than it's been for me. It's still pretty embarrassing for me, but it's worse for him.
My kidneys.
This is a losing battle for you, Hombrecito. You will die by my hand.
Sorry, Bartolomeo. Had to take that one for the team. There we go. And then everyone else just runs away.
This is for my father.
Really? Everyone fully disappeared.
That's like 16 camera cuts for Liam Neeson to jump a fence. Ezio is about to stab the guy and Rodrigo's just like, kick! Run away!
Theodora! What are you all doing here?
Perhaps the same thing you are, Ezio. Hoping to see the Prophet appear.
I came here to kill the Spaniard. I couldn't care less about your prophet. He never showed up.
Also true, Ezio has a gun. With
Ezio does
bullets
have a
in
gun,
it.
yeah.
The Prophet's arrival was foretold.
Machiavelli!
Unbeknownst to us,
Maki has entered the house.
perhaps all along you were
And,
one
Machiavelli, what? That is
Niccolò di
the
Bernardo
weirdest, the absolute weirdest leap of logic.
trained in the ancient ways to save
Is his opening line. Well, we heard rumors there might be a prophet, and it's obviously not Rodrigo Borgia. so Ezio?
It must be you.
The worst part is that he's right.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Teaching you the skills you would need to join our ranks. I think it's time.
We have our prize, but there is much to be done. Come, meet us here at sunset.
Every once in a while, we get very presumptive emails of, like, usually, like, automated. Textures took a second there. Of people being like, your SEO is trash. Let me optimize your website. And then I don't respond. And then it's like, you didn't respond to my email. I'm like, yeah. Because I don't want to work with you. You're probably not even a person.
I actually started getting those too.
Oh, yeah.
They go straight into my spam filter.
Yeah.
I don't even have to see them. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of them do, but some of them go through. There was a long time where the most common, like, copy pasta for those is like, hey, you didn't respond to our message, which means one of three things. One, you're lost at sea. Two, it got buried in your inbox. Or three, you just were feeling too embarrassed to email us back because we're so cool. Well, don't worry. It's like, fuck you. It's always the lost at sea joke, which stopped being funny before the first time it was mentioned.
You are one of us. Come, we have much to do.
I'm way too angry about that email.
Yes, we have upgraded all from getting our fingers chopped off by accident to getting our fingers burned on purpose.
Yeah. We finished the game up there a second ago and like just kind of teleported over to Rialto.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
Where is Rialto actually? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Yeah.
Whee! Whee! Also,
Yahoo!
Why are we tutorializing
the thing that we've already been doing the entire game?
We're not a few hours into this game. We're actually quite a lot of hours into this game already. But we got new drip, so maybe it's worth it. You know, I take it all back. We got new drip.
We work in the dark to serve the drip. We are assassins. Oh, getting burned by a firework. True, that was part of the initiation.
True. Oh.
Are you okay?
Oh boy.
Do you want to stop?
Everyone ready for our super relevant plot sequences?
I was like, okay.
Prolonged time in the Animus is bad for us. We need to take designated breaks.
I love that they only did that cutscene to remind us that the modern day plot exists. That's it.
Yep. We need designated breaks. Chat, remember, don't spend too long staring at a screen, otherwise you'll be like me and have to get, like, anti-fatigue, basically miniature bifocals, at the age of 26.
Ezio's greatest enemy.
So
Oh, wow.
do take designated breaks from your screen. Don't be like Desmond Miles and me. And make sure you look up at other objects.
I think Desmond just needs a better gamer chair. That's the reason that I'm not playing well, is because Desmond doesn't have a good enough gamer chair. The Endos 2.0 is not conducive. It's not ergonomic enough. Also, you know who invented the bifocals? Benjamin Franklin. In between being balls deep in every woman in Paris, he invented the bifocals. Sorry.
I was mid-tea.
We're mid-tea.
And yet, this is clearly a very...
I also love that they have Da Vinci casually know that the world is heliocentric.
Exactly.
Or the galaxy is...
Solar system.
Solar system. Like, wait, no.
Well,
too small, too big.
Heliocentric, some nonsense. Oh, no.
The space is heliocentric.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. Ow, my ears, ow, my ears, ow, my ears, ow, my... Wait, what?
This must never fall into the wrong hands. It would drive weaker minds insane.
No doubt the Spaniard will be relentless in his desire to gain it back.
Ezio, you must protect this with all the skills we have taught you.
Skills is a bold word.
Take it to Forli. The citadel is walled, protected by cannons, and our ally controls it.
Who is this?
Montuccione is walled.
Caterina Sforza.
You don't say. I think I may enjoy this mission. Thank you for everything, my oldest friend.
Leonardo, Ezio tells me you travel often to Milano. I have a grand villa in Toscana. You must come visit me there.
Not next to each other.
not really even that close to each other. I mean, I suppose closer than Tuscany and Venice, but that's not a high bar.
Only, yeah. I mean, it's like all of northern Italy is kind of next to each other, but also Tuscany and Milan are not any more next to each other than Venice and Milan or Venice and Tuscany. Did we see those people's faces get smeared? Did we see that?
Don't worry about it. Video games.
Video games.
Well. Look who it is.
Madonna.
I thought when we met you were a bit special, but an assassin. Walk with me, Caro. You're going to love Forli. The cannons in our citadel.
Yay! Forli, also known as
quite safe there.
Forgive me.
The color palette of browns. This is the most like late noughts part of this game.
Sorry.
Also, perfectly illustrates what I was saying about the countryside. Like,
yeah,
this is rough.
Yeah.
This looks like trash. Look, the PowerPoint level island in the middle of the swamp there. We got one shade of brown and one shade of green, and we're just gonna drop the two shades.
Like, they really tried with this purple, but it's just so not visible.
Literally straight lines, two-dimensional objects of the flowers.
They make a mean urban environment, but the countryside is rough. And then they made 3 entire games around that. Damn.
They came as soon as we left the city.
Yeah, unfortunately, while they do a good job of capturing like earlier medieval Romanesque architecture, they just muddy it up to the most indistinct mush of brown and green, which is unfortunate because Forli could have been pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just not. Because with Florence, they have a really strong like orange, orange. That's the color identity. Is orange. Great. Venice has this kind of like blue-pink dealio going on. It works. It's good. In Tuscany, they have this bright yellow and green, very like summery, and then in Forli, they just didn't know what to do.
Brown. What colors are left? Brown.
Yeah.
Purple? No. Two-dimensional purple. Brown. Okay. I mean, right, it's the same trick as they pull in AC1, it's just they have one more urban environment and don't know what to do with it.
AC1, I think the colors worked better, because it was green, blue, and a kind of, like, a more goldish brown than just straight brown. Because, like, Damascus was a lot brighter than this, for instance.
Exactly, but Ochre kinda sucks.
Ochre is kinda lame. It is kinda lame. It's just gray.
Exactly. Right, this looks nicer than Ochre does because they didn't oversaturate the blue.
It's not like you know what Ochre is? Ochre is Avengers color grading for all the Marvel movies. This is some Captain America's Civil War ass color grading in Ochre. I love how they had to subtitle this because the way that they establish subtitles is full Italian text or full Italian text, and then English afterwards. But in this, Caterina Sforza goes on such a long tirade in Italian that they have to do the whole tirade in Italian, and then, like, 20 seconds after the line is delivered, go back and subtitle it in English after the tirade finishes.
Yep. Also, you know, the Assassin's Creed always does this thing in their English versions where anything that is vaguely resembling a naughty word, they're like, what if we put this in the original language first, and then we put it in parentheses? That definitely gets us around the ESRB.
Restriction, yeah.
Right. But really, I feel like all it does is it makes things feel... I don't know. It feels like it's exoticizing every language other than English in a dumb way.
Unfortunately, that is kind of the result.
Right.
Don't mind me, boys. I'm just going to... Oh, is that the other side? That is the other side. I'm gonna go around. Hold on. I need to...
The drip.
Sorry, Katerina. I need to go steal some books. Do I have weapons? No. Unfortunate.
That's all well.
Oh, that guy ran away. Cool.
Alright, well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
We tried.
Also, another Italian city that randomly hangs a picture of the Doge in its banks.
Yeah, hold up a minute.
So funny.
Hold up a minute.
Every Italian city. They have different wallpaper colors, but they always have pictures of the Doge.
Oh, God. I mean, I know making interior environments is, like, genuinely very difficult, and it's definitely easier to just kind of copy-paste. Yeah, just, like, copy-paste the interior environment and then just change the shading on the wallpaper. But, man, is that a weird choice. Like, have a couple of different pictures, right? There's more than... That doesn't... Was that even a historical piece?
I would not know. Frankly, there are enough pictures of Doges that all kind of look like that because they had, like, the ermine cloak and the little corno hat that it's like... The Doge kind of had, like, an established getup, so it very well could be a historical picture. It could have been a concept art piece for the Doge.
That's the thing that happens
which
a
even
lot
still, like, that's kind of clever use of concept art.
Yeah, I mean, a game that came out just, like, middle of last year, Steel Rising, does exactly that with all their French Revolution characters.
Oh, yeah.
The concept art is in the Louvre.
That's really fun.
It's
really
very fun.
This is what's happening. We're talking about the color palettes.
Exactly.
I need to go to actually. Hold on. Dang it! I should have bought more knives.
Yep.
And bullets.
Also, these, you know, for being the Orly's effectively private militia, these dudes look suspiciously like the guards in every other part of town.
I think, yeah, these guys are just the greens, so they're chill. I think the other guys are red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're red because they're bad.
Yeah. Ammunition.
And thank you, Leading Strangers, for the $4 super chat.
Oh, yes,
we
thank you.
appreciate you.
Now,
Nice work, Machiavelli.
Oops.
God.
Thank you, Machiavelli.
Phenomenal ragdoll animations when you get knocked out. Actually, that's not ragdoll, that's just hard-coded for you to just fall in the most silly mode way possible.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, sorry guys, I need this. What the? Oop, open the map.
Also, I just want to shout out how utterly scuffed the economy in this is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because, just so we're clear on, when I say that this is a bad historical simulation, let me just describe what I mean. It cost you what? Repairing all your armor cost 150 florins a
Let's
piece?
see. Repairing armor was 300.
Yeah, 300 florins total. Florin is a gold coin. It's like it is specifically the right. I mean, florin is the currency of Florence. Shocking, but it is kind of the standard banking currency in this period, and it is the highest value coin in this period.
Yeah, the ducat was usually, I want to say silver. It was more used for commerce. Was it also gold? Was the gold ducat gold? I don't remember.
Probably the gold one, but I think it's like half the size of a florin.
Oh, yeah, true, because they're gold, the size is different, right?
Yeah, so it's equivalent, I think it's like about 2 ounces of gold is 1 florin. So just so it's clear, repairing things is like 600 and something ounces of gold to repair a couple of shitty pieces of armor, and we have 95,000 of them.
Oh, someone died? Oh shit. Oh no.
Is this exactly? This is probably even worse than Kingdom Come Deliverance, which has the equivalent piece, which is the
oh no, damn it.
The groschen, the gray coin, or as the big coin.
Take him down!
The thick coin.
Exactly. It's about similar, and, you know, Kingdom Deliverance makes a pretzel cost about, I think it's like 10 groschen, which is about a week's worth of wages.
It's a really good pretzel.
Exactly. Literally work for a week for a peasant to afford 1 Bavarian pretzel.
And like on one level, it's just, you know, they just chose florins because it's from Florence. It's a little fun F symbol and it works well enough. But as a simulation, yeah, it does completely break down.
Exactly. And it's not like you couldn't have just used smaller coins, right? I have not shilled Pentiment on this stream, and we've got to fix that.
Go ahead.
There's a big...
the platform is yours.
A big chunk of one of the side stories in Pentiment is embezzlement, and the embezzlement is like one of the big chunky like things that gives away is 7 florins go missing, and that's too much, right? That is an extremely bizarre cost disparity, and you know it makes everyone super suspicious and puts the abbey that got stolen from in dire financial straits. But you could use pfennigs, right? The German penny, or its equivalent in the Italian city-states, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I know existed.
I don't know it either.
But there is a copper. Don't. You're going to kill Machiavelli. Wait, why are you doing this to your boy?
There can only be one.
But yeah, right. You could use a copper coin instead as your base unit, and then it still is borked, but it's dramatically less borked.
Because really the game is approximating like, oh, fixing a piece of armor, let's say that costs $300, and they're basically saying 1 florin is $1.
Yeah.
And using units, that makes sense, because otherwise, from a gameplay perspective, it would seem like the amounts we're dealing with are way too low. Not accounting for the fact that, you know, in this economy, singular coins could have tremendous value beyond anything that would.
Right, and since we're in Italy, the dominance of coins makes sense. If we were in not Italy, the dominance of coins would make less sense, because this is also a period where everyone's trying to force a transition into coin-based economies, and the people involved, the peasantry in particular, that have to suddenly pay their taxes in coins.
Wait a minute.
Are like, run that one by me again, but slowly. Where am I supposed to get this coin?
Sir, I farm. I can give you goods. Not so much this coins.
I've got some pigs. Can we pay in pigs? No? No, you want silver.
That's actually one of the reasons why England had an advantage in France in the early parts of the 100 Years' War, was because they had a coin, or a monetary form of taxation a lot earlier than France did. So France had service in kind and goods that you could pay as taxes. And they had a system called scutage, where basically you serve the king's army for however much time out of the year, or like, you know, once every however many years.
Usually I think it's in that period it's like 40 days out of a year.
Yeah.
And that includes travel time. That includes
like,
the time.
I'm done.
Yep. That includes the time it takes for you to get to the muster point, according to the people who were obligated to do fighting, and not the king.
So when England was able to, you know, collect money and then pay for an army, they were able to wipe the floor with France at places like the Battle of Crécy. Obviously, it didn't do them any good in the long term, because the kid with the visions showed up and caused a bunch of problems. But the premise of, like, there are material changes that affect what you as a state can do depending on how you structure your economy. It's like boring shit like taxes actually ends up being really important in terms of, like, what a state can accomplish.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids, math is important.
As much as I dunk on economic history, it is important.
Where are Bianca and Ottaviano? Forgive me, Signora. They were playing outside when the attack began. I don't know where they are.
Reinforcements from the mountains! They are breaching the citadel!
Ezio, don't let those bastardi get in here!
With me!
Machiavelli will say this.
Is this where you point out traditional English money denominations, or money denominations words, being complete nonsense? Yes, it is.
Oh.
Because basically, right, the smallest coin is actually a penny in your penny, shilling, pound system. The smallest coin is actually a penny. A farthing is a quarter of one. A half penny is a half of one. Hence why it's called a farthing. I believe it's actually related to the word for fourth. And then what was it, like 12? I think it's like 12 pennies as a shilling, and then 20 shillings as a pound, and then
no idea.
Some nonsense.
Oops. Okay, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Ezio, you okay?
Alright, hold on. Give me a second as I mute my group chat here so we don't get all these pings.
Ping, ping.
Do it. Great.
Glad to see the city guards have learned the fine art of the Naruto run. True.
So, like, the way you're supposed to do the combat is to dodge to the side, but the way that the dodge input is received actually doesn't work very well, so it's very hard to consistently dodge to the side and not just, like, dodge backwards.
It's bad.
Like, the idea is there. Juke the enemies and then get a hit in. It's a good idea, but it just doesn't work.
Or, you know, just hit that counter button and move on with your day.
Yeah.
And sad is not as overpowered as Assassin's Creed 1's, where if you just have the hidden blade out, it insta-kills.
Insta-kills everybody.
Period. You could use your sword, and you could use your other slightly smaller sword, but why would you?
Assassin's Creed 1 actually rewards taking the attack because you can break opponents' guards with good timing on your attacks, and they just completely got rid of that in AC2, which is unfortunate because it was a good system. And then AC3 and onwards is just Murdersville,
Exactly.
so you don't need to worry about running away from anyone because you can just kill.
And then they fixed it by making the combat even less fun. It turns out a system where the enemies actually play realistically, which is to say unfair, is a terrible combat system.
Which one are we thinking of?
Unity.
Oh, Unity? Oh. I've been watching a lot of like Unity videos lately, and I'm like, do I want to go back and play Unity? And the answer is no, but I have to think about it.
I'm sure playing Unity in 2022 is a better experience. Hi. Hello.
Cleo has returned.
You hi.
She wants pets.
Exactly.
Actually, you know what? Cleo is very distinctly aware of the fact that it is almost her lunchtime. Hi, Cleo.
Hi. Cleo was sleeping next to me and then jump scared me by having big rumblings.
Drop from a high tower, you too will be just another stinky
Hi, Cleo. Oh, she's
Hi.
sleepy.
Uh-huh.
She's snoozy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
I am petting the bean. Don't worry. Hey.
Sign is like, I cannot pet the cat. You have a responsibility.
Exactly. Well, Cleo has baby hours, and we are going to oblige.
Aw. Baby.
Exactly.
Oh. It has.
Exciting.
Cool. Please hold.
What a pleasant surprise.
Chat, maximum chaos hours. I'm the only one here. Amazing. So chat, disclosure, we ignore the robotic voice in the background. We ordered food because we're still going to be here for a while, and food is important. And
it's not been delivered. Lies.
It claims that it's been delivered.
Lies and slander.
We've been informed that it's been delivered, and we check outside, and it has not yet been delivered. So, you know.
Think you can threaten me?
Spooky. Luckily, we have the power of cutscenes to help us out.
It's a good thing this cutscene goes on way too long.
Exactly.
When you change your mind, they'll be in the village outside the
Okay,
city.
well, let's just wait a little bit longer.
You have 1 hour.
I'm pretty sure we sent it.
No, I did send it here, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is exactly noon. It's just on the website. It's like...
Nobody's sacrificing anything.
Spooky.
Alright, whatever.
Whatever.
Come back for me,
They do only open at 11:30, so...
You have my word. Diablo needs to remain in the Citadel. Keep this safe.
Do we have... We have some Unity defenders, except for the plot, which is just 80% bad.
Yeah,
Big
Unity
incel
was...
hours.
Unity is so sad because the parts of it that are... Please hold.
Was that... That sounded suspiciously like...
Nope. I don't know what that is.
Alright, mysterious beeping noises. Chap, please hold.
I have no idea what that was. Oh, that was our Roomba vacuum cleaner. His name is Bob.
Well,
and he beeps. We just hooked Bob back up yesterday.
Amazing. Oh, hi, Little Miss. The Little Miss has graced me with headbutts. It is a good day.
No, Cyan, I could not use your Grubhub because it would not let me sign in. It kept on being like, click this button to prove you're not a robot, and I did, and it's like, no, do that again. And I did, and it's like, no, do that again. So I was not able to use Grubhub. I just used the one that they have on by default.
Die, bastardo!
Just threw a knife at a guy and accumulated many enemies.
Yeah, you know, shockingly true to life.
Cleo was very excited after.
Exactly.
God, I love that.
Oh!
Jeez.
Ooh.
The game that has the most insane combat animations is Revelations when you get the Vlad the Impaler sword. That thing is demonic. The animations they put. You stab a guy in the face and then twist the sword. He's already dead. You didn't need to snap his neck on top of that. Am I on a clock?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, let's run.
I'm pretty sure we're not, because I think they were like, you've got an hour, and nothing in this game takes an hour to walk between. So you could just faff around for as long as you want.
Oh, you know what? I think they actually give us 8 minutes. But I don't have the,
Oh. Huh. Well, that's probably important.
It's gonna be fine, actually. Because this game is Easy Street, and I am a god gamer. AGDQ, this is my application.
True.
Except this game is not awesome, nor will it be done quick.
God, I'm so excited for AGDQ. It's one of my favorite things every 6 months. It's very bad for my sleep schedule, but entirely worth it.
Oh, yeah. I, at one point, signed and I put on, like an 8-hour any percent, or no, it was a, like, 100% randomizer something or other for Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah.
By Linkus,
yep.
Commentated by Gymnast86. That was a fun one, but we were watching it for a very long time, and it's like, dang, this thing goes. This is a long speed run.
Yep. He just put out one that was like, what if you just got optimal luck?
Yes, that was very funny.
I was down to an hour and a half, and I was like, oof. The time loss is real. You know, you think... Well, I don't want to advocate, you know, historical human rights violations.
Where are you going with this, buddy?
You think, given the circumstances, there's only one possible thing we're here to do. And you take the initiative about the person who's tied up, given that the entire point is, we need to do XYZ, give in to XYZ demands or we'll kill someone. Well, they're mounting a rescue attempt, so I guess they're not giving in. But the entirety of the guards are just like, what if instead we let ourselves get countered to death?
God, this game is so janky. Alright, you can run away.
It won't be. Grazie, grazie, Messere. But my brother, they're holding Ottaviano at the lighthouse.
Goodbye.
Actually, one sec. They're rustling at the door.
We're now paranoid that we're gonna not get food.
We're gonna starve, guys.
It's
on
tragic.
Stream.
Exactly. We're trapped.
Cleo's like, well, maybe you guys, but what about my food?
Cleo hasn't been fed since before her nap. Napping's hard work.
We originally had a morning and night feeding schedule for Cleo, but in consultation with our vet, we changed it to every 6 hours. So midnight, 6, noon, 6, midnight. Which works pretty well, so that if we're ever late to one of her meals, it is not ultimately that bad, because she broadly will have been fed somewhat recently. The difficulty is that we thought this would stop her from waking us up at like 5 in the morning.
No.
It did not. It did not do that. Because Cleo will still want food anyway.
You hear that, you loaf? Sign is informing us that we do in fact have food at home. Are you sure?
It's not the same. Not Thai food. I was talking with a friend of the channel, Daniel Green, when he moved recently in the past couple of years. He was like, I was moving to a new place and I needed to specifically make sure before I moved that there was good Thai food in the area. Luckily there was, so it ended up okay. I'm like, okay, good. Didn't want to take that risk of moving to a new place and having there not be good Thai food.
Exactly.
Can I kill this guy? Is he just gonna stand there like a doof?
Yep.
No. Can I, sir?
Well, that was a smidge jank.
Smidge, just a smidge jank. A little smoozle.
Come on. Turn around. No, thank you. Ah. I wonder if that's the food.
Maybe.
15th time is the charm.
Oh, yes, thank you. I think I see you right now. Thanks.
Use two food delivery apps and have them compete. True. I will say the other cuisine that goes extremely hard, Ethiopian food. If you don't have a good Ethiopian place in your area, chat, find a good Ethiopian place in your area. Because Ethiopian food, I think, goes even harder than Thai food, and that is saying something.
I do have my personal preferences, but Ethiopian food absolutely slaps. And that is absolutely undeniable. Like,
exactly.
When you get good injera bread, man. Especially if you get, like, a real good dine-in experience where they put everything on the bread.
Exactly. The proper. Plastic crinkling ASMR.
I'm being disappointed about the overproliferation of bad ASMR in your left ear. I'm being disappointed about the overproliferation of bad ASMR in your right ear.
Amazing.
There's actually, let's put these on the coasters because they're not quite all the way. Whoop.
Voila. Also find a good Colombian food place.
Oh.
That's fair.
Alright. There we go. This is...
You've never had Ethiopian food. Look, you've never lived. I'm sorry.
That's true. That's true. Find a friend, make it an excursion, and go to a good Ethiopian place.
Exactly.
And you're good.
Like, it's so hard to sum it up because it's so good. Well then, after a brief genre shift into an ASMR plastic stream, I believe we are back.
I'm gonna feed Cleo and then we're back.
We're gonna feed Cleo first, and then we'll be back with the goal of killing Ludovico Orsi. Cleo! Cleo, your dad's gonna make food. She heard a can open. She immediately ran off. Shocking nobody. Hey, Mexican food is also really good. If you get yourself a proper good joint that knows how to not overheat the spice levels in their food, so that the heat adds to the flavor instead of is the only flavor, Mexican food is really good. And also lots of ref for Turkish food. I prefer Moroccan. Alright, if I gotta do Middle Eastern, North African, which always yes, it is all delicious. I prefer Moroccan to Turkish because, you know, the farther west you go, with the broad similarity of North African cuisine, the more influence you get from like West African cuisine, and the better it gets. So, I mean, I love doner kebab, but Moroccan spiced, like harissa shawarma, peak food.
Thailand announces the invention of food 2.
True.
Oh my god.
Now people are just sharing which cuisines they think go hard.
That's good. That's
and
good.
the
I'm
answer
glad.
is not British.
No. They have food with their alcohol over there? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's weird, right? I will say, one that's really, like, if you like cheese, Central European, like, just is the perfect place for cheese.
Yeah.
Because everything comes with cheese.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Fried camembert. Phenomenal, just entree.
Ooh.
Yeah. Deep fried camembert.
Cyan is suggesting we go to our local Ethiopian place, and it is closed Monday. But like, Cyan, darling, I think we got a plan here. We'll have to convince Red, but I think we got a plan here.
I feel like you wouldn't even have to twist Red's arm that hard.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Or we'll be like, yeah, Red, we're going to like a place. Don't question it.
Don't worry about it.
Eat the bread. All right, please enjoy. Dine. I'm gonna finish this mission here. This is the funniest mission because the kid is doing the absolute like galaxy brains tech. God, piece of shit. Hate this game.
Parkour goes, bruh. Sir.
Well, didn't get detected. Of the absolute genius brained like interrogation capture avoidance technique of just being so annoying they want to throw you away.
Please, I regret this hostage situation. Just someone make him not our problem. I know we made him our problem, but someone else should fix this for us.
If only I could have foreseen that my actions would have consequences. You don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me.
You also don't see me.
Exactly. Voice actor of Cesare Borgia.
Huh.
Yep.
I was a fool to save you.
Or are you the fool, dying for a handful
Maybe
of
it's the other guy.
Was it worth it?
More than you know. The maestro gains his prize because of me.
Yeah, I think the other guy's Cesare's voice actor.
Per quanto vale. Requiescat in pace.
The best part about food in Germany is that there's a bunch of Italian places. Facts.
Where else am I gonna get bomb-ass doner kebab? In America, I googled Donner Party and I get a bunch of different stuff.
Honestly, though, one of the best doner places I've ever had is in Denmark.
Donner Party jokes never get old. They should, because it's horrible, but people die.
People did in fact die.
Cleo has had her lunch. She is satisfied.
True.
Oops. If only this game could have realized back in AC2 that riding a horse around is not fun gameplay. And not made 3 entire games around it. Oh,
yep.
Well.
Then again, I wouldn't necessarily think that riding a boat around is fun gameplay either, but I was wrong on that.
That one's actually pretty fun. I don't
actually know what changed apart from fewer things to run into, except for other boats.
Yeah, you're not constrained by having to go across like this one narrow bridge.
Yeah.
You have an implicit understanding of the nature of like boats are things that move slowly, whereas horses you expect to be able to turn when you tell them to.
Yeah.
So the type of movement that it I'm clearly not going to the front exit, but it's very unclear which where. Most players will... What the...
Fully on the wrong side of town.
God damn it.
Like, we're looking for the back entrance. Hey. Cleo has decided that the most entertaining thing right now, Chad, is to walk back and forth across my lap, trying to find the most comfortable spot.
She smells the chicken.
True.
Yeah. Please do go ahead, though. I will munch in between cutscenes for...
Exactly.
Oh, do you need a napkin?
I don't think we have silverware.
Silverware! I knew I was forgetting something.
I was like, how am I supposed to... great idea. And if we had injera, I would just, like, do weird Thai Ethiopian fusion and just have flatbread as my silverware. But we don't. So, silverware. I don't think rice is finger food. It's not finger food, but it could be more finger food.
It's like, please, you're my guest. Eat, goddammit. You're like, how? Like, figure it out. There's just one. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. Attempts not to settle my controller. Great.
Amazing. Sneaky.
The thing with playing this game through is that it is a great example of how sometimes the main story of a game can be absolutely the weakest part of it.
Oh, 100%. The main story of this game is actually nonsense.
And again, it's like the difference between actual, story and just pure vibes. And this game nails vibes. I had a whole hour-and-a-half detailed diatribe about how this game nails the vibes.
Exactly.
But there's just some parts that will be fundamentally so weak in comparison to the parts of this game that really do nail it.
What happened?
The characters are a lot of the appeal here, even though most of them are dumb. Da Vinci pulls a lot of weight for this.
No, where is he?
God.
We chased him out here.
Man, the faces in this game.
Oh man, Machiavelli's eyes.
So 2007. Actually, 2008?
Oh, 9, I think.
9?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 1 was 2007, that's right. That was right. Rice is finger food?
Sticky
oh
rice,
my god.
Sticky rice, yes.
Enlightened philosoph over here.
This is not particularly sticky rice, chat, so, forks.
We did not order Thai sticky rice. Didn't think that getting dessert on stream would be responsible. Probably wouldn't have the stomach space either. Okay, we are going outside the walls to go kill this fool, because we have to get the apple back. That's right, that's the problem.
God, we're so bad at keeping things... Like, we showed up in order to deliver it.
Yes, and then immediately... Yeah.
We should have been carrying it... Either us or Machiavelli should have been carrying it the entire time. And yet somehow it still got stolen. God, we're so good at it. Like, the only people...
Ezio is bad at the video game.
Exactly, the only people worse at video games than us is Ezio.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That was not optimal. Yeah, I know, reduced distance to target, shut up. That's why they gave me another horse.
Notably, he runs past these horses and is just like, what if no?
And of course there's no actual way to do horse-mounted combat.
No, of course not.
Nor is there a way to...
What's happening? We're good at stealing stuff, not keeping it safe. True.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just gonna stand there now and let us stab him. That's very funny.
Now here's a pro gamer move. Come on, let me smoke bomb.
3, 2, 1, stab. Stab.
No, the other guy.
Literally anyone else.
There we go. The target.
Nope. That's
Hans. Cyan, the horse is in the back because I had to leave it behind because I kept on getting stuck.
Was it worth it? So much bloodshed.
Oh my god. Hans.
A prize of such value. It will not remain yours for long.
We shall see.
Oh, Ezio's way too slow with that one. That's like... Took me way too long to realize Requiescat in Pace is Italianate Latin and not actually Italian. I don't remember what the Italian version of the command tense is. It's been a while. That was some Italian 3 stuff that I've since forgotten.
Well, rip. Darn.
Murder monk. Murder monk. Murder monk.
True.
Stop. Don't open it.
Now time for the actually fun plot sequence.
Yes, the best plot sequence in the game.
Literally.
Let's be played. Really are the worst assassin? You are correct, Raptorus. We definitely are.
We are the worst assassin. We are also canonically the best assassin who has ever been.
Which is a real shame.
Really speaks highly of the metaplot here.
Yeah.
Right? Competition that takes place over several thousand years. Since at least sort of kind of a little bit the 5th century BC.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because in the broader narrative, the Order of the Ancients, or the Cult of Cosmos, is actually kind of assassin ideology aligned, weirdly, and they kind of brush over that.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, and then the game is like, you need to get all the Codex pages to figure out what happens next, so here's all the Codex pages.
Yep. So yeah, you know, a mere 2,500 years. And Ezio Auditore is the best name I should come up with.
Yeah.
Find us a stramaladetto monk.
I think I'm going to miss you, Caterina.
Oh, I know you will.
They have one DreamWorks smirk animation they programmed for Caterina Sforza, and they keep using it.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
What a interesting name.
Yeah.
We love just translate things.
Yeah,
translating half of a compound.
Forlì is not even that terrible structurally.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, it just looks bad. Because it has some cool Romanesque architecture over here, like if we see the towers are pretty unique to the style. I don't know if they would have ever been that big, but like
probably not. The walls in this, in general, the walls in this franchise are way too big.
Thick. Yeah. Like, this little cloister here on the side of the church is very nice. The tower is maybe a little taller than it otherwise would be. But, like, these buildings are nicely designed. It's just the colors are so muted.
Yep.
It's like there's nothing here. Well. Let's see. We gotta go this way.
Exactly.
Hair memory. Okay.
Hey, Ezio, I'm trying to defend this place, but but the clap of my dummy thick walls keeps alerting all the Swiss mercenaries.
I should go back to the villa at some point. Good thinking, game. Okay, well, you're gonna leave. That's fine.
Nerd.
I agree, good sir. You should go that way. Okay, then we need to go to the boats.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I got the bad jokes, so you don't have to.
If we're good, we can beat the game by, like, 2. I don't know if I'm gonna be that good. Hi, excuse me, can I sail? Thank you.
We should at least be able to murder Savonarola by 2.
Oh, yeah. Ideally, I like to finish this game and just, like cap it and let it be done. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but if we finish Savonarola, the actual ending of this game is not better, so if we beat Savonarola, that'll be a good stopping point for us.
You were saying rendering like a shockingly large amount of Rome for one sequence is a bit too much.
It is actually kind of funny because some modders have been able to get outside the bounds of the game in the final sequence and like explore this early build of Rome that they did. It's very funny how much is there, but also how much is fully empty.
Yeah.
Classic. Oh, dang it.
I turned around.
Hold on.
My nemesis.
Can I do this? Good thing this game's morons.
I just walked into it.
God can take you back now.
Really?
What?
There we go.
Blessings on you.
Cool. Cheating!
Okay, but that wasn't cheating, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I
cheated with the smoke bomb and then the game cheated.
The smoke bomb fully did not do the thing it is programmed to do.
Quite sure. And then there's Brother Domenico, but it's his entire left arm he's like.
Yeah, quite sure it was a finger.
Now wait a moment. I do recall a black-robed monk with 9 fingers. Yes, of course. When we had our last San Vincenzo
Food is
feast
better in person,
at
but it's
the
still pretty
Abbey.
good at takeout.
I know the place. I'll try there. Grazie.
Go in peace, brother.
I always do.
Okay.
Brother O'Callahan.
Let's look at this. Hold on. Born beyond the Pale, outside the area of British control in Ireland. Darby O'Callahan spent his teen years hunting and raiding British settlements. In his papers, he describes the time period as a dark point in my life, but to be honest, I had my fun too. Horrifying. When O'Callahan's Gaelic father married a Catholic, everything changed. I think they all would have been Catholic by that point. He forced me to work the fields, no more raiding, no more girls, it was hell on earth, says one particular entry dated 1462. To escape his father, O'Callahan decided to become a monk. I was told by my mother that monks did little work and threw large feasts for the seasonal holidays. True. He joined the Abbey Lara monastery in 1462, becoming a Cistercian. Ultimately, however, O'Callahan found the order too austere. We worked in the fields from dawn until dusk. It was hell. Abbot Shaw wouldn't allow us to drink, and worst of all, the only girls were nuns. It was a deeper level of hell than I'd ever imagined possible. Wow. Convincing a small group of his fellow monks to join the Dominicans, Darby left Ireland in 1463 for Italy, where we can hire farmers to work for us in the fields. Then, when we give our sermons, we will see the beauty of the Lord and the golden light of Italy and the soulful faces of the farmers' wives. Wow. Ultimately, O'Callahan was kicked out of the Dominican order in 1493 due to repeated attempts to convert the townspeople while within a drinking house. In Darby's own accounts, he claims that he had great success with the conversions, although the men refused to come to church, so I had to return to the alehouse for repeat visits to preach the word of the Lord to their receptive ears. O'Callahan moved to the Romagna countryside in 1494, starting a monastery dedicated to the Order of St. Patrick in an abandoned church, but he didn't have much success in securing converts. 1500, he died of what has been described as bad blood, but was most likely syphilis. His body was buried in the small cemetery beside the church.
So,
do we have time to unpack all of that?
Ow. I mean, depends. How many more Codex pages do you need to find? Let's start with the small one. The Cistercians don't follow apostolic poverty. They're a spin-off of the Benedictines.
So that's not their thing.
They're more austere than the Benedictines, but, yeah, ow.
Did I get knocked off?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they don't particularly follow apostolic poverty, I don't think.
I wouldn't know. did that not hit?
But also, this is the 15th century. Ireland has been Catholic for...
Fully Catholic.
1,000 years? Give or take?
Yeah.
Potentially a little bit longer than that.
True.
So...
Have you seen it's a Brennan Lee Mulligan bit from one of like the Game Changer shows on College Humor where it's like the ghost of St. Patrick's Day past, like explaining the true meaning. It's like, he's killing pagans, Mr. Scrooge. The snakes were a metaphor. He's murdering pagans.
Certainly, Brennan Mulligan is incredibly wrong.
Oh, darn.
The man knows a lot, but in this case, he is wrong, because it turns out the snakes are a Bible reference to the fact that snakes are evil. And so Ireland is a blessed place with no wicked things in it. It's not pagans, it's just snakes.
Just evil.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's still really funny. He's murdering pagans, Mr. Scrooge. Yeah. Every once in a while I'll come across a Tumblr history post and I'm like, no.
Uh-huh.
There's the classic. Actually, one of the things that I'm probably going to mention briefly on the next OS podcast is that text post that goes around at Christmas about like, I want a Christmas movie based on the real Saint Nicholas at the Council of Nicaea, and it's like, oh, these people have to return to the Archbishopric of Caesarea, but this guy has to do this, and the baptisms performed by the Pauline heretics are invalid. Merry Christmas. As far as I could find, there is not a single Google result for Pauline heretic, and I think they're trying to talk about Arian heresy.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that got auto-corrected.
Yeah.
Because there's, as far as I can find, no such thing as a Pauline heretic, so the Tumblr post is misleading. Such is Tumblr history.
So it goes.
Brothers, the killer of monks has returned.
Leo's having a good time.
She sure is. But, and try just reminding me of Assassination Valhalla existing again. For, the Wickerman in the monastic center of 9th century Gloucestershire.
I'm sure you are no such thing.
Which for some reason occurs at the at Samhain featuring the Mary Lewis.
Missing a finger, you say? Do you mean
in Gloucestershire,
Savonarola?
which was a monastic center from the 6th century.
I did. He was one of us for a time.
Yeah, but you weren't there. How do you know? No, I'm kidding.
It's for a good long time.
I'm afraid to say his retreat has come to an end. Where would he have gone?
Tumblr heresy is real. Tumblr heresy is real. Don't trust a damn thing you see on History Tumblr. If you're curious, Google it.
I think.
The only place you should trust less is History TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
History TikTok has exactly 2 modes. People who know what the heck they're talking about, and people who speak much louder than the people who know what they're talking about.
I'm not about to start throwing stones too aggressively. I've made a significant amount of mistakes in my time and continue to do so, even though I'm trying to be better. But the content strategy favored by text post sites such as Tumblr, such as Twitter, and for videos such as TikTok favors very quick distillations of things that are incredibly complex, and I get shit for leaving stuff out for 10-minute videos, which is valid, because I do leave stuff out all the time, because I have to make choices about what to include and what to cut, and I'm often wrong, because I can't get that right every time, and that's understandable, it's part of the game, it's fine, I know that going in. But every once in a while I'll find a creator who's like, okay, they're saying some stuff I kind of dig, this is fine, and then they make a video about a topic that I know a lot about, and I'm like, oh no, you're wildly off base. Oh, yikes. Okay, cool. I actually had that happen to me this morning. I won't call any names. But I still, broadly like their content, but it was like, oh, That's a very bad take about such and such topic. Wow, the game is really upping the fog here. I think this is a glitch. Hey, bro, you need any more occlusion here? Jeez.
God, it looked like last night when I was walking home. It was
super fog. Yeah,
super fog yesterday.
Okay. Well, good thing I can just walk into these monks and they'll forget everything they ever saw.
True. We look so much like a monk here. You don't even know.
The sword, it's a monastic sword.
True.
Oh, meet Machiavelli. Fuck yeah, that's right. We get to hang out with Machiavelli for this whole memory sequence.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to ignore this. That seems like a you guys problem. Sorry, gang.
Exactly. I'm sure just want to point out the one good part of history TikTok. The professionals who happen to be on TikTok.
Oh, yes.
That exclusively do reply videos to pseudo-history TikTok.
Oh, that is magic.
Well, it's probably not good to make the entire online brand be debunking stuff. Sometimes you just gotta. Especially, you know, if you're an archaeologist in the year of our Lord 2023.
Oh, true. Here's one fun thing about the way that they do the skybox in this game. So, you know how, like, you can't see a damn thing? When I exit the menu, for a split second, it's like, ta-da! Blanc. And I go back, and it's like, no.
But what if? What if we could?
What if we could?
What if you didn't just make the fog a
it does suit the gloomy vibe.
A literal, just like universal shader that's just slapped onto the UX.
For 2009, it ain't half bad. I think they just should have turned down the intensity a little bit. Because obviously they couldn't like render actual like volumetric fog at this point. That came a lot later, and it's like understandable. That technology evolves. That's part of the process. That's part of the game. But like,
also don't render volumetric fog. My graphics cards will think.
But like, when it's just a thick sheet, this sheet is a little thick. And I don't want to get like too negative about this game, but looking back, it is interesting to see the choices that were made, and some choices that were made very consciously. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is clever. This accomplishes such and such task in an interesting way. And something where it's like that. I think this might be a little too much fog. It looks like the game does not have a render box.
Exactly.
Or a large enough render distance.
Exactly. This is the Silent Hill 2 approach to
yeah.
Make everything foggy because we can only draw. Our draw distance is only like 5 feet away from the player, so make sure.
And when you're working within technical constraints, that is valid. What you don't want to do is make it look like you're working in harsher technical constraints than you actually are.
When isn't it? Why don't you fill me in on things?
I don't want to be too negative. I want to have fun today.
Game's good. Like, game is still good.
But, yeah, please.
This is one of the most video games.
Sorry, attempting to have lunch. For anyone who is on TikTok and gets into the history side of things, there are many creators who are doing their best. Trust but verify. Dear God, verify. Because there are a lot of people who are making good stuff, and a lot of people who aren't, and a lot of people who are making something in the middle.
Yep.
And it is very hard to tell at a surface because people project confidence and say things that are maybe true from a certain point of view, but not strictly actually fully true.
Also, check their bios, right? For the most part, academics, if they're being smart in using it, are going to say that they're academics.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. Cyan's got something here. Paul of Samosata was a bishop of Antioch from 260 to 268. Paulianist heresy named after him. Let's see, aftermath. First Council of Nicaea dealt with the Paulianists. Concerning the Paulianists who have flown for refuge to the Catholic Church, it's been decreed that they must by all means be rebaptized. If any of them who in the past have been numbered among their clergy should be found blameless and without reproach, let them be rebaptized and ordained by the bishop of the Catholic Church. But if the examination should discover them to be unfit, they ought to be deposed. Likewise, the case of their deaconesses, and generally in the case of those who may have been enrolled among their clergy, let the same form be observed. And we mean by deaconesses such as have assumed the habit, but who, since they have no imposition of hands, are to be numbered only among the laity. All right.
Yeah.
So there were Pauline heretics, but this is very niche.
I think the Tumblr text has a typo in how it spells Paulinus, though.
Possibly. I mean, here's the thing. St. Nicholas was probably not actually at the Council of Nicaea.
That's also
he
true.
exists in lists on the larger groups of names of who was at the council, because there are a handful of lists that are about 200 people are at the council. He is on none of those lists. There are other lists that are about 300 people, and he is on most of those lists. The idea being that early church fathers and scholars thinking, wait, how was St. Nicholas not at the Council of Nicaea? He must have been there. And they put him in. Because if it was like, oh, he's on some lists and some other lists, like, okay, then we can make a case. But on all of the more exclusive lists, he's not in there. My guy probably was not actually at the Council of Nicaea, so ascribing that to him specifically is still a stretch. I will concede. I was wrong. I did not know that there was actually, in fact, a Pauline heresy. I wrongly accused that of being a mistype of Arian. But still, this is why we have to learn things. It's important to research. Because Tumblr, even in the case that the things that are presented are factually correct, the implications they have are not always truthful or pulling the evidence to the right direction. So, I will admit, I was incorrect. Thank you, Cyan. But I still stand by the fact that most of Tumblr history, even when it is factually grounded in something, is making a point that is weird at best and disingenuous at not best. Because he wasn't there. He wasn't at the council. He didn't punch Arius in the face. He wasn't at the council.
Okay, but it is a great meme that he punched Arius.
Oh, it's a fantastic meme. It's exquisite. I mean, here's the thing. I'm remembering this wrong, but there are stories from southern Anatolia of it's not a pagan thing, it's not a folk thing, but there are stories from pre-Saint Nicholas that look a lot like the Saint Nicholas stories. And I don't remember who specifically. It's like Apollinaris of who the hell knows, but the fact that the first source that we have on St. Nicholas comes in the, 800s? We cannot trust a damn thing in there.
Yep.
They can help to organize the uprising as you free the districts.
Yeah, not the Paul who wrote the letters, different Paul. Santa did some punching at the council. Yes, thank you, Cyan.
Dang it, that's a better joke than anything I was going to make. Oh right, this is where they give us the goofy ass bounce off
springboards. Yes.
Yes. It's so fun.
Do I have the Florence cape? I have the Florence cape. Let me put on the pizza cape.
Beautiful.
Great. Love it.
We're now incognito because by the power of that suspiciously untextured blue.
Oh yeah, this is oh yeah, why is this so untextured? Hold on. Is this a rendering error from the end? Oh my god, I think this actually no, I think that's deliberate. Yeah.
I think it is actually just that blue. It just looks weird.
Man, Tumblr.
Yep. Random question.
Yeah.